Siskin in, and the 7 colts are loaded. They're off. A bit slower than the others to leave the stalls were Sting Like a Bee. There's Red Epaulette over on the far side is the first to show with St George's Head. Going up to dispute the lead, the end of the first furlong. They're tracked by Never Before on the outside of Siskin, and then Maiden Pimlico, Sting Like a Bee, and Harpocrates. Racing on their journey now in the 6 furlong Irish Stallion Farms EBF race. And St George's Head has just picked it up from Red Epaulette. And then with the pink cap, Siskin and Never Before is on the outside. Then Maiden Pimlico, Sting Like a Bee, and Harpocrates as they pass the halfway stage. And it's St George's Head, rejoined by Red Epaulette on the rail, Siskin just behind them, and then Never Before, Harpocrates, Sting Like a Bee, and these have left Maiden Pimlico. Racing on inside the 2, and Siskin comes to challenge. On the far side, Red Epaulette a couple of lengths back to Never Before. Staying on is Harpocrates, but Siskin and Colin Keane have gone to the front. Harpocrates on the outside is staying on into second place, and then comes Red Epaulette, but at the finish, Siskin is another winner for Colin Keane and Gerlines on the weekend. Second is Harpocrates, third is Red Epaulette, and then Never Before, Sting Like a Bee, St George's Head, and Maiden Pimlico.
Team going great guns at the moment. Gerlines and Colin Keane, they strike again here with Siskin making a winning debut in the colours of Caledon.
Harpocrates, the last one to go in. Let's get up to Jerry.
They're off, very level break. This is the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Marble Hill Stakes. Listed race over 6 furlongs and showing ahead in the early stages. The blue-capped King Neptune being followed by Siskin, who's on the outside of Harpocrates, and they're followed on settling down by the first-timer Southern Hills and the back marker, the filly Back to Brussels. Continuing on towards the halfway stage, and the leader is King Neptune and Duck O'Brien, tracked by stable companion Harpocrates and Ryan Moore. On the stand side is Siskin and Colin Keane, and to their inside Southern Hills and Shamie Heffernan with the back marker Back to Brussels and Chris Hayes. They're inside the halfway stage in the Marble Hill Stakes, and it is King Neptune the leader, followed by Siskin on the outside. Pushed along in between horses Harpocrates. On the left is Southern Hills, and Back to Brussels is making it interesting in between horses. Almost 5 in line as they race towards the final furlong. Spread across the track, and it's Siskin on the near side who comes to pick it up from King Neptune. Back to Brussels, Harpocrates is next, and they're being followed by Southern Hills, but stretching on is Siskin and Colin Keane to remain unbeaten. Scores in the Marble Hill for Gerlines. Second is King Neptune, third is Harpocrates, then Back to Brussels and Southern Hills.
Yes, it's 2 from 2 from Siskin. He follows up his very impressive racecourse debut at Naas by an equally impressive performance here in the list of Marble Hill Stakes.
Yeah, he was very good, Kevin. Look, he was professional in the first.
White flag is raised. Loaded. They're off. In the Gain Railway Stakes Group 2 over 6 furlongs, and well away with Siskin in the pink cap. Romero, the solitary English challenger, has gone through on the far side with Fort Myers racing into a prominent position as they race the end of the first furlong. Then Monarch of Egypt and Real Force, the grey, at the back of the 5. Continuing on their journey, and little to choose between Fort Myers and Duck O'Brien on the stand side of Romero and Kevin Stott. They're tracked by Siskin, the Marble Hill winner, under Colin Keane, with behind Siskin, Monarch of Egypt and Ryan Moore, and the back marker Real Force and Niall McCullagh as they pass the halfway stage. In the Gain Railway Stakes, and it is Fort Myers, stripe sleeves on the near side of Romero, horse with the nose band. On the left-hand side is Siskin, who's tracked by Monarch of Egypt, and then comes Real Force. Racing past the 2, and Siskin over on the far side has come to pick it up. Followed quickly through by Monarch of Egypt, then Fort Myers. Romero's dropped back, but Siskin is the leader. Starting to get on now from Monarch of Egypt, and then Fort Myers as they race into the closing stages. It's Siskin in front as they run towards the finish. A good day gets brilliantly better for Colin Keane and Gerlines as Siskin extends his unbeaten record over 6 furlongs. Monarch of Egypt followed home by Fort Myers. Real Force and Detached Romero.
Well, if it was looking a good decision before the race to bypass the Coventry Stakes with this horse, it looks even better now. He's retained his unbeaten record there. with a comprehensive victory. Siskin is our winner of the game.
There's a red-hot favourite, Siskin. Can he maintain his unbeaten record and give Ger Lyons and Colin Keane the first domestic Group 1? We'll see in a few moments' time, as Think Big is the last of the 5 runners. Let's get up to Jerry.
And the 5 colts are set. They're off very level break in the Keeneland Phoenix Stakes. So other stable companions, Royal Lytham and the Grey Mount Fuji, and Monarch of Egypt, with in behind the Ballydoyle trio, and the green and pink, the unbeaten Siskin, and at the back of the field, Think Big at a big price. Racing the end of the second furlong, and it's Royal Lytham and Donnacha O'Brien leading the Grey Mount Fuji and Jamie Heffernan, and then in the different greens, Monarch of Egypt and Ryan Moore, being followed by Siskin and Colin Keane with the back marker racing past the halfway stage, Think Big and Robbie Colgan. Little changes in the order of running, continuing inside the 3, and it's Royal Lytham and the striped cap, being followed by Mount Fuji, the dark blue. On the left-hand side, getting closer, inching closer is Siskin. Monarch of Egypt is on the stand side, not much between this quartet, and a couple of lengths back to Think Big. Siskin over on the far side has got to the front. Monarch of Egypt is trying to go with him. Royal Lytham is in between them, and these have gone on from Mount Fuji, and Think Big. It's Siskin with a race on Monarch of Egypt on the near side, and then Royal Lytham as they run towards the finish. Siskin, it's another Siskin special this season. It's 4 out of 4, and Group 1's all round for Colin Keane and Ger Lyons. Second, possibly Monarch of Egypt from Royal Lytham, who stayed on well on the far side, then Mount Fuji and Think Big.
Well, fair play to Ger Lyons, Colin Keane.
Tattersalls Irish 2,000 guineas. Jerry Hannon to call them.
For the first classic of the year, they're off. In the Tattersalls Irish 2,000 guineas over a mile, well away was Sinawan, horse with the nose bend, disputing the lead with Rebel Tail. Close up on the inside in the first Tabor colours is Fort Myers, and in the blue cap prominent is Royal Lytham. As they settle down in these early stages, Fort Myers takes them a long track, half a length back by Royal Lytham as they head for the elbow. Soon to straighten the 6th, then Vatican City and Sinawan. Free Solo and Rebel Tail is next, and they're followed by Siskin. And after Siskin, straightening up towards the final 5.5 furlongs is Armory, and then Fiscal Rules. Lope Fernande and Monarch of Egypt is the back marker. Passing the 5 and continuing on towards the halfway stage in the Tattersalls Irish 2,000 guineas. In the lead is Fort Myers, and Michael Hussey tracked the length back by Royal Lytham and Emmett McNamara. Then Sinawan and Ronan Whelan sharing third with Vatican City and Porrick Beggy as they head for the 3. Free Solo is next, then Rebel Tail. Pink Cap halfway back is Siskin, and then Armory in between horses with Fiscal Rules, and pulled out to the outside is Lope Fernande, and then Monarch of Egypt. They're racing on towards the final 2 furlongs. Fort Myers is pressed by Royal Lytham, one from the rail. Here with a sweeping run is Lope Fernande, and Sinawan in between horses. Angled out is Siskin, then Armory as they race to the final furlong. Lope Fernande hits the front, but here comes Siskin on the near side. After them is Sinawan racing up towards the finish, and it's Ger Lyons' push button Siskin who's drawing away to land the first ever classic for Colin Keane and Ger Lyons. Vatican City is second, then Armory, Lope Fernande and Fiscal Rules.
8. Siskin has won the Tattersalls Irish 2,000 guineas under Colin Keane in what was a pretty dramatic race, you'd have to say.
Ready. They're off. They race away, then Kamiko gets out very smartly indeed and is the first one to lead this Qatar Sussex Stakes. Going with him, though, Circus Maximus in the white cap, a dark jacket of Vatican City, and Wichita in purple is wide on the course. Mohatha in blue and white is up there as well, and then San Donato, a yellow jacket, and the pink cap of Siskin and Colin Keane is just at the rear of a very well-bunched field. After a couple of furlongs, there's only 5 lengths between them. Ryan Moore and Circus Maximus just goes on to lead. Dark blue jacket for William Buick on Vatican City in second. Ashim Murphy against the running rail. Kamiko in third. Purple jacket for Frankie on Wichita showing in fourth as they get to halfway. Blue and white for Jim Crowley, Mahatha. Yellow jacket Andret Zeni around the outside of a pink cap for Colin Keane on Siskin as they move them towards the home straight. Circus Maximus bowls along by over a length and a half. Vatican City with a white face in second, driven driven along to try and keep up with one of his stablemates. Kamiko is next. The purple jacket behind this is Wichita. San Donato, yellow jacket towards the outside, making progress. Siskin is held up still at the rear of the field. They've got to the 2 marker. San Donato runs a massive race at a big price here. Siskin is trailing him through on the outside. Circus Maximus, Kamiko is looking for room as well. Still there is Wichita as they head down to the closing stages. Circus Maximus is very brave. Siskin and Mohatha in the blue and white coming down the outside to challenge. Mohatha in the blue and white comes late on to grab victory in the Qatar Sussex. Circus Maximus in second, then Siskin, Kamiko, Wichita behind those. San Donato, last home, Vatican City.
Well, a thrilling Qatar Sussex Stakes, and this will be a hugely popular result. Marcus Tregoning is back in the big time with a horse of the highest calibre who has shown a rapier turn of foot here.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Halliday sharp from the beginning and right out to the early lead. And Factor This is away running in second. Order of Australia sent up on their outside, racing for that first turn. Kamiko just in behind the leaders, running in 4th position and saving ground under Sheen Murphy, just 2 lengths off the lead. Then Casa Creed followed on the inside by Circus Maximus. Ivar's out there 3 wide. Then comes Safe Voyage, followed by Lope Fernandez, who's 7 lengths off the lead to the backstretch. And on their outside and moving up is Raging Bull. Then March to the Arch in Siskin. Uni, second last. Digital Age is the trailer as the field heads up the backstretch. In pursuit of Halliday, who leads it by 1.5 lengths. Factor This tracks in 2nd position. Then it's Kamiko 3rd on the inside. Order of Australia's 4th. Circus Maximus 5th after a half mile in 46.97 seconds. Casa Creed is 6th right now and 5 lengths from the front. Then Ivar to the outside. Lope Fernandez is saving all the ground with 7 lengths to make up, moving for the far turn. Then March to the Arch and Raging Bull. Uni is beginning to pick up stride from the back of the package. She's going 3 wide, and Digital Age is going to come outside of her as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Halliday's going to try to take him the distance here, turning for home in front of the Breeders' Cup Mile. Kamiko on the inside is second. Order of Australia running a big one on the outside. And a huge race. Here comes Order of Australia to take the lead as they come into the final 16th. Circus Maximus runs up on the outside. Lope Fernandez is next. It's Order of Australia. He's 73 to 1 in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Circus Maximus was second. Lope Fernandez was third. The final time 1:33.73. What an upset.